Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Power Boost Meditation. Today, let us experiment with this awareness and realization of oxygen for the soul. It's just like we need oxygen for the body to function properly. Without oxygen, nothing will work. And in the same way, it's like for I, the soul, the spiritual being, I need oxygen. I need to breathe in constantly and breathe out constantly. It's just like the body breathes in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide. In the same way, it's like I, the soul, I breathe in silence. I breathe in peace. I breathe in truth. I breathe in remembrance of the divine. And then I breathe out all that is not healthy for the soul. In especially today's times, we understand, especially because of the pandemic, the importance of oxygen. Without oxygen, we've lost so many lives. But just the truth, the realization that this oxygen for the soul is very, very important. And this oxygen is just this space between our thoughts. If we were to read a paragraph, for example, without any spaces, just words, letters and words, one after the other, then we won't be able to understand. We won't be able to read properly. But what that little space does is that it creates separation between the words. And then I'm able to make meaning. I'm able to understand. So in the same way, it's like one thought after the other, after the other, after the other. Rather than that, having space. And the more I focus on the space, it's like I'm breathing in. Just like the body breathes in naturally, I don't have to make effort to breathe in oxygen. It automatically, I'm able to breathe in. In the same way, when I'm in the space of just observing and not thinking, I'm able to breathe in. When I'm just being and not doing, I'm able to breathe in. And it happens automatically. And so there's no effort needed to breathe in. It's just, I need to be. I need to be. The moment my attention goes a lot towards the doing, this task and that task and that task, it's like then when the mind starts to feel suffocated. That's why this space is so important. I just need to be, and then automatically everything happens on its own. For any system, breathing is so important. Even in engines, it's so important to breathe in air properly. Because without this oxygen, combustion won't take place. Energy in the fuel will not be released. So it's fundamental, primary for any system to have this proper breathing in and breathing out. And so to allow this to happen, for I, the soul, I'm just being myself, naturally allowing the silence to be breathed in, and any tension or any thought of the story to just let it to breathe out. And then, just like when there is proper mixing of fuel and oxygen, then combustion takes place and the energy is released. In the same way, it's like the energy in the soul gets released. So it's a very automatic process. All I need to do is to just pay attention on being myself and allow this natural breathing and release of this energy to take place. So let us take a few moments to breathe in the oxygen of silence. As we sit comfortably, having taken this time out for myself, just to be myself from the world of easiness and the world of actions to the world where I am myself, the world of being. I just become aware of the silent space in between my thoughts. The silence that comes from beyond. The thoughts of the story are like the clouds down below. And I take my attention upwards to the reality beyond the clouds and experience the silence. The silence is the oxygen for the soul. The world down below is just a story, a fiction. And without creating the space to breathe, the story world with its distractions and attractions and illusions can easily choke. So, in this moment, in the sky, above the story, I am just myself, my real self. A tiny point, a star. I'm naturally pulled towards this experience of being myself. The greatest gift I can give to myself is to be myself. There is a reservoir of immense power, love within me. And the more I am just myself and allow the oxygen of silence to enter, this power is then naturally experienced. When I am myself, without a name, without a body, without a role, without responsibility, I'm just myself. I just need nothing. I'm easily breathing in silence and breathing out all the worries and tensions. I've come back to life, to my real life. As I become naturally aware of this reality, that we're all tiny beings of light, living in our home of silence. We're all decoration of our lovely home. And we all have an eternal, loving bond with the divine. I begin to experience the company of the divine. This natural and loving remembrance of the divine allows me to be myself. I just feel completely loved, accepted, and I belong here. There's no question of anything related to the story in my home. In silence, in love, I just absorb this loving presence of the divine. The silence, this truth, this love is my oxygen. I begin to radiate with the inner light. And as I come back into the story, I come with a fresh perspective. And light. To fill my day with the freshness of being myself. Om Shanti.